Hello, everything is fine? My name is Gabriel, and this is the Amazing Channel. And today, we're going to look at the 7 habits of highly effective people. One of the things that happens most these days is when I'm talking to my friends and they start talking about how everything was cheap when we were kids, but now everything is always increasing in price. Before everything was so easy to buy, and today it's impossible. And all of this is because of this government or another, which doesn't know how to govern a country, and this conversation remains in an endless cycle, one throwing responsibility at the other. That's exactly what reactive people do. They always focus on things that they cannot control, placing the blame on some scapegoat. It is impossible to think that the concept called inflation can exist, and that their salary has also increased. On the other side of the coin, there are the proactive people who think like this. Even if my criticisms are pertinent, thinking about it won't help me at all, so I'll focus on the things I can control. This brings us to habit number 1. Be proactive. If a proactive person works at a company, instead of focusing on how people flatter others to get ahead, or how other people are also winning at the moment and I'm not, they focus on how to improve so they can be active. Fundamental to the company you work for, do you notice the difference between these two thoughts? Look at the amount of responsibility, the amount of dedication and hard work that according to thought suggests to me, and now tell me, which thought will our lazy brain choose as default? Which is why so many people focus on the things they can't control, instead of pursuing the things they can. Be part of the solution rather than the problem. Habit number 2 is, start with a goal in mind. Now imagine you're at a wake, and all your friends and family are there too. When you stop in front of the coffin and see yourself, that's it. This is your wake in a few years. What would you say about yourself? What do you wish everyone you love was saying about you and your life? These are one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Is what you do with your life today aligned with what you want people to remember? Do you want to be remembered as being a good son? If so, how would not obeying your parents and showing any affection help you with this? Do you want to be remembered as a person who made the world a little better? If that's the case, are you looking for things that make people say that? Or are you afraid of failing and would rather sit around all day waiting for life to pass you by? And how does our life change? Well, our lives change when we really know what is most important to us. What you want to hear at your funeral is actually your purpose in life, perhaps fame, money, and other things that we strive for so much were not even part of your plans anymore. So start doing things with a goal in mind. Habit number 3 is, do the most important things first. Now, if I asked you, what are the things that matter most to you? The most common answers would perhaps be your health or your relationships with your family and friends. You would never answer scrolling through your cell phone or watching TV. But because many of us spend more time on our cell phones or watching TV than taking care of ourselves or cultivating a family and pleasant environment, there is a huge gap between what we want and where we actually allocate our time. So it is essential that we do what is important first. Habit number 4 is win when thinking. Now imagine the situation. You really want an orange to make juice, but your brother gets it first. You both want an orange, and then the fight starts. After a while, the already irritated father decides to take an orange, cut it in half, and give half to each one, thinking that he is satisfying them both. In the end, everyone loses, because they didn't know that one wanted an orange to make juice, and the other wanted just the peel to make jelly. Another situation, imagine that I have a pharmacy. I sell you a medicine that is much more expensive than normal, because I realize that you really need it, and that you would pay any amount. Next time, would you think about coming back to my pharmacy again? Wouldn't it be much better for both of us if I sold it at a fair price? In that case, you would be satisfied and return to my pharmacy, which would also make me satisfied. Habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Stop thinking that for one to win, the other has to lose. Life doesn't have to be this way. One of the things I want is for people to subscribe to my channel. But one thing you'll never hear me saying is, well guys, I had a lot of work. I had to dedicate a lot of hours to this video. Please subscribe. The question I ask is, who really cares if I put in a lot of work? Who cares if I spent days creating just one video? The question that should be asked is, does this video provide anything that is useful to you? Why would you take the time to subscribe when you could be doing something else that interests you more? Therefore, seeking to understand before being understood is something that we should put into our lives as a daily goal, something that we have to do with every conversation and every interaction we have. Habit number 6 is synergize. Now imagine two college friends. One is that typical nerd who knows almost everything about programming and electronics, while the other has a huge imagination and a good ability to sell. The two alone are just two more students who can't create anything special. But when the two of them work together, they can make fantastic products. The story is actually about Steve Jobs and Wozniak, which happened when they decided to join forces to make their first computer. What happened here is what we call synergy. The total achieved is greater than the sum of the parts alone. I can tell you I am convinced that this is very difficult to achieve with everyone, but you should always be looking for opportunities to create synergy, valuing differences, and always trying to reach a third alternative that satisfies both parties. Habit number 7 is renewal. And last but not least, imagine that you are in a forest and you find a man trying to cut down a tree. He has been there for more than 5 hours and he is exhausted. So you go and say, "Friend, sharpening the saw will make you able to cut faster." And the man says, "I don't have time to sharpen the saw. I'm too busy." We might even laugh at this story, but we tend to do it all the time. We can't find 30 minutes a day to exercise and improve physically. We can't read a book for 15 minutes a day to stimulate ourselves mentally. We don't have time to use our empathy and help a lady carry her shopping home. And we can't take even a single hour a week to go to church, meditate, or do anything that stimulates our spirituality. No, we never have that time. And then we try tips and shortcuts to be healthy, using techniques and believing that the magic of transformation will happen. It's like buying a Ferrari without an engine and asking your family where they want to travel at the weekend. So these are the 7 habits of highly effective people. Big changes take time and effort, and that's what the book and this video want to happen. I would like to thank all of you who subscribe to the channel for following the videos and always leaving a like as a form of thanks. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for your support. If you are not yet subscribed, do like everyone else. Just click the button red subscribe. And if you can, also share the video with your friends. Have a great day and be amazing.